Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trading Room. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is the week ahead. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the movers and shakers of the day. We're also going to go over a couple of things we need to be looking out for later in this week. And honestly, it's all about holiday season. It's all about the Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States. We've got good liquidity right now. You're going to have good liquidity probably today, tomorrow. Towards the tail end of Wednesday, it's going to get pretty dicey, though. You're going to see a lot of folks leave the market, basically just to go on vacation. And you're going to see a lot of that this time of year. This is one of those times that you say, okay, when is the time to trade? Shane, when should I be trading? Today and tomorrow. Wednesday, not so much. Friday, I would avoid Friday like the plague if I was trading. And I am, so I won't be trading Friday. But it's good to see everybody back in the room. There's a lot of you guys out there. MLE, good to see MLE over in YouTube land. T Marina, good to see you, T. Yes, sir. Hey, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you guys. Lita, good to see you. Bobby Bob, always a pleasure, guys. A lot of folks over there in the How to Trade Trading Room. Andrea Garwal, good to see Andrea and Tuku. Andrea has a fantastic observation. Starts off with a 4-hour crossover on the Bitcoin US dollar. This is one of those trades that I've been hanging in Bitcoin. I'm going to show you my tote board here in a second. I'm in one of those contests. We won't mention the People's Contest, but I'm in it. And we're doing all right, but we're not going to win. We're not even close to winning, but we are starting to see the market go the way that we want it to go. And Bitcoin, we talked a lot about Bitcoin last week. We talked a lot about Bitcoin. Right now, you're seeing the big retracement. You're seeing the big bounce off of a long-term support level that was pretty tasty. It was a pretty good support level. And it's acting very, very, very nicely. I mean, this is exactly what we wanted. I think right now, you're starting to see the bidders step in. And when the bidders step in, typically they win, especially when it comes to crypto, especially over the past probably 24 months. When the bidders step in, they win. And what I mean by that is there just isn't enough selling here to really bury this market. Now, if you're long from 100,000 or you're long from 125,000, I get it. It sucks. You're underwater about 20,000 bucks. I get it. Is Bitcoin coming back? No question. Was this a short squeeze? Did this wash out all the retail shorts? Or retail longs? Yeah, completely. Flushed them. Because when you see this low right here on the 4-hour, you go right down to 80. 80 is where the money stepped in. So I'm not a big smart money concept trader. I don't really believe in it that much. But if you guys love smart money and liquidity sweeps and all that jazz, and you want to talk about the markets however you want to talk about it, fine. Understand the key levels dictate everything. There's a liquidity sweep there. The institution stepped in. Yeah, because of a key number. They protected 80. It is that simple. They protected 80. Now where are we going? Well, we're at 88. We're going to be over 90. I would be surprised if we don't close over 90 today. It looks to me like the bullish action is back in Bitcoin and back in crypto in general. Full disclosure, I was waiting for a bigger plunge. I wanted to grab some Shiba Inu, which is up about 6% today. I want to grab Shiba down around 5 or 6. And that would have been a slam dunk. Still watching it. Still ready. I mean, anything can happen this week. But it looks to me like let's just be brutally honest. Volumes are high here. It's all sellers, right? Selling. And then bang, we stepped in. And then we get a little bit of volume back. Big volume spike, protected 80. Why did that volume spike come into the market? Why? I mean, I hear so much about liquidity sweeps and smart money and, these are institutional footprints. Are they really? Why did all that volume come into the market right there? 80. Key levels. 80 steps up and everybody says, well, I like it. I want to be long from 80. I don't want to be short. And that's exactly what happened. Now, I've gotten some static lately, and I'm just going to vent here for a minute. I've gotten some static online lately. And I love our community here. The folks that tune in every day, feel free to say whatever you want. Please do. But it's the folks that blow through that are here for, 30 minutes. And they decide to be hypercritical about what we talk about. I want to make this as simple as I possibly can. Easy is better. Easy has always been better. Always. Shane, you say 80. Well, how do we know? And I said 80. How do we know that 80 is important in Bitcoin? Because the entire world bought it. We don't have to be smarter than the average bear. We can just be the average bear as long as we understand what key levels are. You're fine. And that's one of the biggest problems I have in this space these days. I talk to traders all the time, and I'm talking to folks and out there, and they've got all these different, this algorithm, this AI driven, this all this jazz, and I go, that is all fantastic. But what about the big round numbers? What about the key levels? You could make a lot of money trading key levels. The biggest level on your board right now for Bitcoin needs to be 80. You need to be watching that like a hawk. If they take 80 out, 75 happens fast. We know that. Boom. 75. Are we bidders from 75? Hell yes, we're bidders from 75. Do we need to be bidders right now from 88? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And the reason why is because the bounce already came. Okay, we saw the bounce off of 80. Now we're starting to talk about the conviction of the market. Take a look at what's happening here. 4-hour chart crossover developing. Fantastic observation from Andrea. I think this is going to cash big. I really do. Let's wait and see if we get this crossover to develop for the next 2 hours. And that's probably, I hate to say it's a fantastic long, but it's a pretty darn good long. We're right off of our long-term support level, which is right at 85. 38% of this big move. We outlined this Friday. I didn't just draw these. I drew this Friday. Go ahead and check it out Friday. That is your move. That's your move. Dead as fried chicken back there at 18, 17.5. Dead. Market's dead. Explodes. Boom, boom, boom. Pull back, boom. Pull back, boom. Pull back. Now what? We're resetting our cycle. We're getting ready to either make another leg up and talk about 150s and 175s and 200, or we're going to stagnate, and December's going to crater, and then we'll get a great buy down here at 58. 84 was a beautiful trade. 85 was a beautiful trade. 87.5, jury's still out on that. Pretty good trade, though. All right. Well, in any case, I've rambled on long enough, but this Bitcoin market has really got me involved, and I'm interested. I'm interested now. As far as what we're looking to do in the contest, I've been sort of showing this a little bit. I was asked to show you exactly what I'm doing in the contest. This is what I'm doing, and I'm not going to mention the contest name. You guys probably already know it. But I'm in. We're up about 25,000. We've got about 6,000 that's unrealized. The leaderboard, I think the leader has 125,000, so they're way ahead of me. But we're still hitting, out of 100,000 people, we're in the top 1%, which is fantastic. I'm very happy with that. And the reason why I bring this up is it's not to show you that some guy's demo trading well. It's not what it's about. It's about, look at the numbers. These are ones and twos. This leverage is very, very small. And when we look at something like this, we say, okay, so the leader's got 125,000. I've got 25. I've got about 30,000. So I'm way behind. I'm not going to win. But 4 out of 5 trading days, we're up almost $30,000. This is manageable leverage, guys. These are ones and twos and fives. Those minis, those micros, those are micro contracts. These are ones and twos and fives. This is doable. So I sit here and I look at this leaderboard and, okay, Shane, then why don't you do it? Well, maybe I am. I'm over the moon. After having a horrible weekend, I looked at the leaderboard today and I said, okay, how can I put this out to the traders out there that maybe it's not a lost cause? Because I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of messages, guys. A lot of messages from you guys. Keep sending them. Anytime you want to talk about trading, send them. I'll talk with you about trading. The thing is there's so much doom and gloom. So much doom and gloom. It's like, oh, I blew my account out. Oh, I lost a prop. I didn't qualify for prop. I lost. And I'm looking at this contest and I go, but it's so damn easy if you get on the right end of it. And I want you guys to know that there's a million ways to make money in this market. I mean a million. Just because I use Fibonacci's doesn't mean you have to care anything about Fibonacci's. It's just what made sense to me. Maybe that crossover makes sense to you. Maybe you like market profile. Maybe you like volume. Maybe you don't like to trade. Maybe you like to invest. That's even better. You got to have the cash to do it, but if you want to do that, that's great. My point is this, is if you're watching this live stream and you're out there, you're here, you're in the pocket. It's what I call in the pocket. It's an old football terminology. You want to make your life better. You want to learn how to make money that is sort of abstract. This is a very abstract way to approach life. And I've talked a lot about the psychology over the years, but I haven't really got into what it is to play at a high level and what it is to watch the swings go and how you manage your life around this type of lifestyle. it's probably something we should talk about at some point. I can tell you the swings are dynamic. They're huge. They're big swings. And the beauty of it is when you finally get there and you make it, the swings aren't that bad. You lose 2,000 or 3,000 in a day. It's not that big of a deal. You make 3,000 or 5,000. You're like, all right, we took some money out of the market today. And that's what it's all about. I want everybody in this room right now to trade at that level. Trade at that level. That's what your goal should be. I mean, you know, we sit around and we have $500 or $1,000, and that's great. And if you're just starting out, or if you're just somebody that wants to see if they can build an account, start small. 100% start small. But you've got to remember this. You've got to remember this lesson. This is the first thing I was taught. I had some partners in the 7V bar trading group, and the partners were somebody who was very intelligent that wanted to play for the big money, and then we had somebody in the trading group that was an ex-millionaire that had the big money and that had lost a little bit and was still trying to hold on. And I got an opportunity to observe these personalities trade. And there's a lot of you out there that are very smart. You're probably educated. A lot of you are. So you say, okay, I can figure this out. And I watched that person try to trade. It was rough. And watched the other gentleman try to trade. It was also rough. And the reason why is this guy over here that had millions was thinking of making millions. And this guy over here really didn't ever make any money, but was looking to make a little bit and then play in the big leagues. And I admired the ambition of both of them. So Shane was in the middle. Shane sat there and watched these guys make mistakes, and he watched them do good things and bad things. And it was funny because a lot of times they would make money during a day, and I was always sort of the even keel guy. I didn't really make much. I didn't really lose much. I was pretty much a commission trader for the first year. You know, I ran it up. I made some money right off the bat on a couple big trades, and then I gave it all back in commissions. I was a commission trader, and that's not – if you're working for a trading group and you're only making commissions, you're fired. I mean, you're going to get fired. And I was sitting there, and I said, well, what am I going to do? And in my mind, I couldn't justify the risks that the others were taking because I thought they were stupid. And I also wasn't making any money. So I had to meet those guys halfway. And so when you watch one of my live streams, I took a lot from the pit guys. I listened to those guys. I listened to the stories. The other guys, the intellectual side of it, well, I have a degree. I mean, I went to school. I believe there's a happy medium. These guys over here in the pits typically didn't have an education. They were just great at trading. And I want every one of you to understand that if you have the decision to be an academic and be the smartest person in the room, or if you can be a pit trader and just understand how the market works, be a pit trader every single time. Understand how markets work. And people laugh at me. 80,000, really, Shane? 80,000? I go, there's no question about it. Look at it. Think like a trader. If you want to be a trader, you need to be a trader. And all the crossovers in the world and all the Fibonacci's in the world aren't going to help you get there. You have to learn how to be a trader. And what that is, that's street smarts. That's being able to reason, saying, is something overvalued or isn't it? Where is all this going? Where do I think the bidders are going to come in at? We've already given you the tools. The key levels video, if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. Key levels, especially in trending markets. Now, when markets don't trend, it's really hard for me to sit here and say 80,000 is the biggest deal in the world. It really is hard because what will happen is we'll just trade it for months and months and months like we did with gold. We did this all summer long with gold. We talked about it all summer long. I said, when this thing breaks above 4,000, it's not just going high, it's going really high. Or 3,500. I said, when this thing breaks out at 3,500, we're jamming and it's going to happen fast. And it did. Bitcoin, start thinking about it along the same lines. We're compressing right now. This market is not as volatile as it once was. We saw a bit of a sell-off, but now we're going to see the rally. This thing's going back up to $110, probably by New Year's. All right, you can quote me. I don't care. Quote me. Lots of folks in the live chat. I'm sorry, I got way behind on that. I had to go off on a rant, though, because it was a Monday morning, And I'm like, we got to talk Bitcoin because Bitcoin was open all weekend long. If there's any markets that you guys would like to look at, please drop them in the live chat over in the How to Trade trading room. Help yourself. Sort of an open line Monday. There is no news out really. We're going to take a look at a couple of the headlines, but it isn't as thick as it's been in a while. As far as if you need to trade, Switch Markets is your home. Black Friday deals. If you're new, get on over to switchmarkets.com. Check out the Black Friday deals. They're pretty thick. I was talking to some folks over there earlier today, and I said, those are some big deals. And they said, yeah, they're pretty big deals. And I go, okay. So if you're a new trader and you want a broker, check out Switch. They'll get you up and running with the Black Friday deal. I think you'll be pleased. I'm not going to quote it here, but I think you'll be pleased. T. Marina, good to see you. T, yes, sir, always a pleasure. MLE, what time is it there, bro? Well, bro, it's 11:15 in the morning, in the AM. I've been on this since about 6 this morning. Not really a whole heck of a lot to do, though. I'm just sort of watching the tote board. I don't really like to trade Mondays. It's a little bit about me. I don't like to trade Mondays. Let me see. T. Marina, I'm in Trading Views, the Leap competition. They also have the Leap Crypto Edition in February, I believe. Yeah. Where are you at, T? Where are you at on the leaderboard? I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to get a big bump, and I'm going to jump way up in the leaderboard here probably in the next 24 hours, but I don't know for sure, but I feel pretty good about it. The leaders, though, I got to tell you, these leaders, I don't know what kind of risks they're taking or what they're doing, but they're way out in front. And that's always, listen, if you get 100,000 people to show up, 75,000 to sign up for a contest, your odds of winning, it's basically a lottery ticket, but still fun to play. So we're going to give it a shot. And the cash, I mean, as I always say, T, I play for cash. So we play for cash. Let's see. The eloquent way of Shane saying, I told you so. No. I'm not an I told you so guy. I would congratulate the Montana State Bobcats for beating my Grizzlies on Saturday, but I saw so many fights leaving the stadium. I'm not going to congratulate any Cats fans. So if you're a Montana State Bobcat, turn it off right now. I saw a disgraceful display as I left the stadium on Saturday. I couldn't believe it. I told my dad's 78. I said, we got to get the hell out of here. It was bad. So, yeah, it was not the best experience in the world. An incredible football game, though. I won't congratulate the Cats, though, because we're going to play them again in about 3 weeks. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Let's see. Tina Shane, good to see you. Tina, welcome. Diz, good to see you. Diz, let me see. T. Marina, laugh out loud. I started out strong, but then last week ate me alive. I'm in the red. Well, can't win in the red. Honestly, I'm going to probably finish that contest in the red. I would almost guarantee it because I'm going to take some huge gambles. I mean, I'm long gold, and gold's done nothing for me. Been long gold 3 days, 4 days, done nothing. Let's see, but making new gains, you can't beat that. Oh, no, sounded chaotic. Tina, straight up, we're going to get into the markets, and you guys ask me whatever you want. Today's a good day for it. We're going to hit the news. Eyes Sheezy, hello, how are you doing? So I left the stadium. Sort of weird the way this works. My wife and her dad, they have season tickets, and then my dad and me, we have season tickets. We're on different spots in the stadium. And so my wife, Stephanie, I talked to her after the game, and she says there was so many fights near their tailgate, and there was a huge police presence there. And I was surprised. I said, man, there is a lot of police here. Typically, a University of Montana football game, a Grizzly game, it really is a love fest. Everybody's high-fiving and hugging each other, and it's just fun. And this was something different. There was people there that wanted to beat you, and they beat us. It was a lucky turnover at the end. You guys didn't win that game, but they won. And we're leaving the stadium, and I could not believe the amount of trash talk. I could not believe there's people jumping in my face, and I go, "What are you doing?" So we ended up getting out of there. I mean, no punches were thrown, thank God. We'd still be in jail probably. But I got my dad. My dad's 78, and 8 stents in his heart. I was like, hey, we got to get the hell out of here. So we got to the car, and we jammed. But I heard it got pretty bad after the game. And, it was one of those where, man, I just as soon shake hands and go our separate ways. But there's people out there that take this pretty serious. They're pretty serious about their football. I know you guys in England and in the UK and in Europe in general, I mean, they have things called firms. So you go out and you go to the other game and you have a firm, you have a group of guys that go fight. And I was like, I didn't really want to get in a fist fight today, but if we have to, we have to. I mean, but a fun time, a great time all the way around. They did a great job with the production, and I'm happy we got out of there with our teeth. That's good. The rest of it, pretty shady though. There was some stuff going on that was not necessarily the best, and I don't like to be in those positions. It's like a losing trade. I mean, once it gets to that point, everybody loses. Believe me, everybody loses. In any case, NASDAQ, this is the NQ chart. This is going to be our NASDAQ, our E-mini NASDAQ futures. Nice pullback developed, and I think we got the bounce. Like I said, we're long in the contest. We're long the NASDAQ. We bought it a few days ago and starting to produce for us pretty good. Also, long gold. That's not working very well for us. We can't seem to get up above 4,100. Bitcoin and Ether, I think we nailed those. I really do. I think those are going to be incredible trades by the end of the week. We'll wait and see. But this right here, we really highlighted that 22,775, 775, 22, 22.8, 22.8 and a quarter. That was the zone we were really looking at. And we didn't really get it. We didn't get it necessarily, but this dip was fantastic. I think that the NASDAQ is probably going to buy back a lot of this month's losses. And the reason that we're talking about this is interest rates. It's all about interest rates, guys. And right now in the markets, if you're looking, we look at this all the time. I know it bores a lot of people out there. They're like, oh, I'm so sick of looking at interest rate expectations. And I go, guys, you got to really understand what's happening here. 76%, 77% believe we're going to have a rate cut. Now, that is all on John Williams on Friday. That is all John Williams showing up, the New York Fed chair, saying, hey, we think we're going to cut rates. Now, basically what's happening right now is the markets believe that Williams is a surrogate for Powell. And he's saying, listen, we can't tell the market outright that we're going to cut interest rates, but you go out there and say that, yeah, maybe we're thinking about doing it. That's exactly what's happened here. We're looking at a rate cut now when you look at the odds. 1 week ago, 42%. 1 month ago, 92%. But late last week, it was like 20, 30% that you were going to get a rate cut. And now it's 80%, 75%. So there's a lot going on here. I don't necessarily believe that we're going to get that rate cut, but I think that they're making some money in the markets, and they're damn sure moving them. So let's go to gold. Gold, this is about as easy as technical analysis gets. This is as easy as it gets. You say, Shane, 920 is good, 5813, Fibonacci's, RSI. What do I do with all this? And I said, sometimes just draw trend lines. This is as obvious as it gets. All-time high right there in gold. High right there, 43,381. This high right here, this was the pullback on the 10th of November about 2 weeks ago. That pullback high right there was 42, 45-ish. And now you've got just a beautiful down sloping trend line. This area, we're up for the third touch. If you didn't watch our trend line reversal strategy video over at How to Trade on YouTube, check it out. I show you exactly what the third touch means. The third touch is everything in a trend line. Now, technically, you only need 2 touch points to build a trend line. This pullback right here, it's either going to be resistance or it's going to be a breakout zone. To me, I'm watching 41.5. I'm holding gold longs. I'm probably going to exit somewhere up around there, 41, 41.60. But if you get a weekly close above this trend line, boom, we're going high. So definitely be aware of that. I mean, a lot of folks are going to look at that and they're going to say, what are you talking about? That's not technical analysis. The hell it isn't. That is the simplest, most basic technical analysis I can deliver. It's 2 touch points. It's a weekly time frame. You have an opportunity potentially to trade that. Now, what we're looking for is the weekly close. So if you're in a contest or something and you get a weekly close this week that's above that trend line, send them. I can't tell you what to do. By law, I can't tell you exactly how to trade or what to do. Send them. Because you're going to see the breakout go right back up to 4,500. And a lot of that's predicated upon those rate cuts we just talked about that nobody really thought was going to happen until Friday morning when John Williams spoke. Silver. Got a lot of questions about silver Friday and over the weekend. This is a coupled handle. There's no 2 ways about it. This is a coupled handle. There's a trader out there that said, hey, Shane, he bought silver down in here. Actually, it was down in here. It was back in October. So it would have been right in here somewhere. Interesting trade, isn't it? Because you got that initial big jam right up to about 55 and then a massive pullback. And then you went right back up to 55. And now you're starting to see the compression in front of the key level, which essentially is a cup with handle. So the question, for that trader that I would ask, I'd say, what exactly are you looking for out of this trade? If you're thinking long-term investiture and you're thinking 75 or 80 and you want to take that money and really parlay it into something great, I'd say stick. Then that's fine. If your goals, your aspirations are that big, stick in there and go for it. If you're a trader and you were looking to take money out of this trade, you probably made a pretty good one buying in down there around 46, 47 and then seeing the run up to 55. That's a hell of a move. That's nice. That's fantastic. What is that, 20% almost? Okay. If you don't want the 20%, then you have to be thinking bigger. And if you're thinking bigger, then you just stay the course. Now, when we start talking about trading and investing, two very different things. Investors sit, they're patient, they wait. It seems like everybody in this world really worships, Warren Buffett. They look towards guys like Warren Buffett and Charlie Unger and those guys, or Munger, or whatever his name is. I think he died. They look at those folks and they say, you're the geniuses of Wall Street. You've beat the game. They're buy and hold traders. If you're a buy and hold trader, your position in silver is going to be a lot different than maybe mine, where I'm probably selling 55s. I don't believe that's the top of the market, but I'm going to look to take a little retracement and put that money in my pocket. The Mungers, the Buffetts, they bought and they held. And then they decided to start leveraging their holdings and then build these giant companies and all this stuff. They also were in probably the biggest bull market in world history. And that was in the United States from about 1950 to 2000. That was post-World War II. The money was flowing. Everything basically got inflated. So be very careful, who you try to model your trading after. You don't need to trade like me. Believe me, very few people do. You don't need to trade like Warren Buffett. But if you're holding silver longs and you're looking for 75 or 80, you're going to need some Buffett patience. Pretty sure you don't have Buffett money, but you're going to need some Buffett patience. This chart pattern on the daily, I would be very, very cognizant of this. Once this handle breaks out, and don't be too exact with the handle. The handle's meaningless. What really is important is that we aren't going up or down. Now we're going in a sideways pattern. Do we think we're going to get a break in silver by the end of the year? Say, yeah, probably, more than likely. If you cut interest rates, you start cutting interest rates, maybe people start talking recession. We talk about all the things that the media talks about every single day. Silver's probably going to go up. Now, what could deflate the metals markets? What could send this down? Hawkish Fed, no rate cut. That'll hurt silver prices. Some peace deals. We're about 1 year into the second Trump administration. People aren't really very happy with what's going on, by and large. They're not. You don't have a Russia-Ukraine peace deal. You still have tensions in the Middle East, and that's sort of an understatement right now. What could send silver down? Well, we know that AI is not going to stop, so that you're always going to need a demand for conductors. What happens if you get a peace deal, a couple of peace deals, and maybe some hawkish rate statements at the end of the year? You could see silver sell off. Now, more likely, the wars are going to keep going because they haven't stopped yet. I don't see why they would stop now. You're going to see probably a rate cut, it looks like. It looks like John Williams was like, okay, go tell them we're going to cut rates to stabilize the markets. That's what's happened. We know in 2026 you're going to get a series of rate cuts with a brand new Fed and a brand new FOMC. They're all going to be doves, and they're all going to cut interest rates. That's the idea. So where we are by the end of next year, not this year, but next year, where do you think we're going to be monetary policy-wise? We're going to be dovish. We're going to be cutting. Our prime rate right now is at about 3.75 to 4. It's going to be down around 2.5, 2.25 to 2.5. That would be my guess going into the clubhouse next December. So, yes, it's all bullish for silver. It really is. But you got to have that Buffett mindset where you're saying, I'm holding this. I'm holding this. Something to think about. Holding's not easy either. I mean, it's a discipline all on its own. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I mean, this chart right here, the Shiba, I always come back to Shiba because it was one of my biggest experiences with holding a monster position and not getting paid for it. So right in here, I bought in right around 12, somewhere down in here. Beautiful run right here. This was like right after I bought. 12 went to 16, and all of a sudden I was up quite a bit. And I said, should I take that money off the board or leave it? And I said, I'm going to leave it. So I left it. And then we mucked around for a while, and then it bounced back up, and then it came back down. And I ended up exiting with a small profit. Not a big profit. This was a pretty good profit right here. Exited with a small profit because the crypto banks were crashing. And that was spring of 2023, I believe. Somewhere right in here. Got out. Missed the big party. The big party right there, that's running my position up almost. That's almost a 10x. So you're, instead of walking away with like 10 grand, you're walking away with 100 grand. That one hurt. Now Shiba's getting back down into my happy zone, and I like what's happening. So if we see a sell-off in Shiba, we're probably going to dance down there near that liquidity sweep right around 6 probably, maybe 6.5. That's good for at least a 25 or 30% pop. So I've been waiting a while to see Shiba do this. I'm interested. As far as the rest of the markets today, I mean, really anything you want to talk about. If you want to talk about some Forex pairs, I'm more than happy to do it. The dollar's flat, though. That's why we really haven't been talking much Forex lately. Let's say you wanted to take a look at the Great Britain Pound USD. I know a lot of you trade this one. We've got trade ideas all over the board on this one. Spike low right there to a spike high on a monthly. What happened? Broke beneath 38%. We got a pretty good pop off of that, but now we're coming off a bit. But the market is just really, really, really tight. I mean, really tight. So, do you want to get in? Do you want to get out? I would wait. I really would wait. If you're holding longs from 130, 148, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. I mean, we're stagnating right around that 38%. This zone right in here is a big deal. We'll see if we get a rally from there. 62% is better, 127.50. Mo better. If we get a shot down there, absolutely. I don't think we're going to get it this year. Maybe early next year, but then we're going to be reworking our ranges and things, so I'm not necessarily certain about that level. But 127.50, it's pretty good. It's pretty attractive level. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Euro USD. Euro USD, same basic thing. We outlined some things that happened on the FOMC minutes last week. A lot of volume came in, and then it left quickly. I'm just not really convinced at all that anything's going to happen with these markets. That's why we're not really looking at Forex much. 112.50, excuse me. My voice is still gone from Saturday. 112.50, pretty good level. Right now we're trading 115.21. Do we get there? Probably not. So I'm looking at that. U.S. oil, I got a lot of questions about U.S. oil last week. It's going according to plan. It's just been a delayed plan. 55 is the yearly low. We're going to wipe that out. I'd almost guarantee it. The question is when does it happen? For me, I would love to sell pullbacks. There just aren't any to sell. Very, very tight. You might be able to work a Fibonacci here. I don't love it. It's a scalp. 59.40-ish. Selling 59.40s. Yeah. Probably going to be a pretty good level. So you could target that as a sell. But big picture, is it a great trade? Not really. The great trade's up there at 62%. I just don't like the wave. Spike high, huge week, pullback. Now we're rallying. Bombs still aren't dropping on Venezuela, and that really is what's dictating the tightness of the crude oil market right now. So you need to be smart about what you're doing, especially with commodities. I don't know that I would leave that exposure out there for very long at all. But 59.40, 59.50, it's a pretty good sell. I wouldn't run from it. Probably an intraday trade, 10 to 15 to 20 pips, but not really committing to saying, okay, Shane says the top of this market's 59. I'm not saying that at all. If you get a strike on Venezuela this week, I've been saying it for weeks and weeks. We think it's coming. It's not happening. If you do get the big move, probably going to be right up here. You're going to take this wave out up there at 62, 69, something like that. And you're probably more than likely going to be heading probably to 62 to 65. Does that mean buy it? No, you can't buy it either, because if they don't bomb Venezuela and there's a deal met, then this market crashes. Crude oil is being propped up right now by all of a sudden dovish interest rate expectations and the threat of a strike on Venezuela. Highly speculative. And I love speculation and gambling as much as the next guy. I don't know. My sixth or maybe my seventh sense is telling me to stay the heck out of the crude oil market right now. Gold's great. Honestly, the actions in crypto. We're watching crypto very closely because we think it's going to rally. Let's see. Right now, the NASDAQ's giving back some of their... No, they're not. NASDAQ's trending. Bitcoin's off a little bit from its highs today, but it looks to me like we're going to rally into the weekend, rally into the holiday break. So be very, very careful with what you're doing today. Today's not necessarily the day to take huge risk, but if you do take huge risk, win. That's what I say. If you're gonna throw down, win. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off today. I've got my voices out of here. This week is going to be an interesting week from a streaming point of view. We're going to trade again tomorrow. We're going to trade again Wednesday. We won't be looking to trade, or I won't be in the office on Thursday, Friday. It's Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States, and then Black Friday. So I got to go buy gifts. Got to go buy some gifts. See what I can come up with. It's funny too now because all the shopping's online. I mean, I just do all my shopping online, but I'll probably allocate a few hours Friday morning. If anything big happens, though, I will be around the office. So if anything big happens, I may pop in and do like an impromptu news brief, especially if we hit Venezuela. And it just wouldn't shock me if it comes on a holiday. It really wouldn't shock me. All right, everybody, have a fantastic trading session. Yes, sir. Looking for gold to hit 41.28. Hopefully it hits before the close. Can't seem to establish ourselves over 41, yes, sir. It's been a real problem the last 3 days. Been a problem. See what happens. I'm long gold right now. That's the way it is. So we'll see it. We'll see how it goes. Let's see Eli. Good to see you. Thanks. Take care. Let me see Gordon Williams. Love you, Gordon. How about those Cowboys? My wife and her family, they're huge Philadelphia Eagles. They're from Souderton, the old family back east. They're from Souderton, which is just outside of Philly. Huge Eagles fans. They were up 21-0, and the phone was ringing, and then they got tied and lost, and the phone stopped ringing. Sorry, we're big football fans. We love football here. But I tell you what, Saturday was a different animal. That was we got out of there. We got out of there. I said, we got to go. Piled in the car, piled in the Cadillac, and left because that was getting dicey. So if there's any Cat fans out there that came over to Missoula and caused problems, we'll see in a couple weeks. I might even go to Bozeman. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. All right, Golden. Yeah, Gordon. Bobby Bob, good to see you, Bobby. Is it right, 6 p.m. tomorrow? Let's see. Well, it's 11 a.m., yeah. So that, Tina, absolutely. Yeah, if you ever have any questions, Tina, just reach out to me on it, and I'll tell you exactly when the live streams are. No problems. But, yeah, we're going to go at the same time tomorrow, 6 p.m. I can't wrap my head around that. 6 p.m. in the UK. You guys are already getting out the fish and chips and maybe a glass of port or something. Yeah. All right. Have a fantastic trading day. Trade the Actionable, and we'll talk soon. See you.